Hey, welcome to Life to the Full. I'm Jeff, and today we are doing kind of a unique podcast. We have a group of students from Encounter Church in Palmyra, Pennsylvania. Most of you who are watching probably are from that church, but just in case, I'm not quite sure how many are going to be here yet. We haven't started. They're all going to be coming here in a short time. My son tells me it might be a big group, so we'll see how it goes. But the purpose of this podcast is just to introduce you to them and hear about their experience, how it affects their life spiritually. I think most of the time when we go on missions trips, it affects us. Maybe even more so than the people that we are there serving or ministering to. So we want to hear kind of their impression of that, how their faith has grown, what the experience was like, and maybe you can determine whether going on a short-term or long-term missions trip is the right thing for you. All right, here we go.
I'm Anna, I'm 17, and my favorite ice cream flavor is mint chocolate chip.
Hi, I'm Maddie. I'm 16, and my favorite ice cream flavor is cookie dough.
Hi, I'm Cohen. I'm 17, and my favorite ice cream flavor is cotton candy from Rainbow Snow. Don't come at me.
I'm Jonathan, and I'm 17, and my favorite ice cream flavor is like chocolate, but with the chunks of brownie in it.
My name is Lucas. I'm 17. My favorite number is 16, and my favorite ice cream flavor is chocolate chip cookie dough.
My name's Jack. I'm 18, and my favorite ice cream flavor is cookies and cream. All right, so we went to Guatemala to help with Champions in Action, running a soccer camp. So the boys there are all at different stages in their relationship with God. So we're just there to help them wherever they are and help them grow and feel like connected to God and just help the camp run smoothly for everyone.
Champions in Action, they run they have mentors for the kids, which are like two adults usually in their 20s or 30s, and they stay with the kids in the cities, and every week they have Bible study / soccer practice, and on the weekends they run soccer games.
Wake up for me was 4:30 to go to the sunrise. That was at the dock. And then at 6 o'clock was everyone else's wake up. And from there we would go into practices for a couple hours. Then we would go into breakfast. After we had breakfast, we would go into, games?
Yeah.
Yeah, we would do our first round of games. Then we would head over to lunch. Then there would be beach time after lunch. And then we would have more games, eat dinner, and then go to chapel. And then, that was about,
Chapel was hyped up.
Chapel was lit. Chapel was a party every night.
I prayed about it a lot when I found out about it because I've never been on a missions trip, so this was my first one. And I just felt like God wanted me to go on it just to be a light and to experience him in a new way and a different culture. But yeah, that was pretty much it. It was a very good experience.
Well, I was told about the trip, and I was like, sounds cool. So I just went.
That's good.
That's that.
Simple.
Yeah, that's all that really happened. I just told my dad, and he was like, no. And then it took me a couple months, but I got him there to say kind of yes.
Well, this year I was definitely more confident going into the camp. I had much higher expectations for myself. I feel like last year I didn't really know what to expect, and I was really nervous to meet the girls. But this year I made it a priority to be more confident and be more welcoming. And it was a lot easier again because I knew what to expect this year. So.
As a boy, I feel like I could connect with the boys a little more, I could relate to them than the girls. I mean, I like both camps, I like girls and boys, but I think I like the boys a little more because I could relate to them, and yeah, that's pretty much it. You relate to them.
So on a short-term trip like this, it really opens your eyes to how God works in different ways. You also get to see a different culture and how other people live outside of America. But more on the spiritual part of it, there's things that happen there, like at chapel at night, that are just a whole different experience in God's glory than you get here.
I shared this before, but especially with the chapels, there was an altar call the one night, and it was very emotional, and there was a lot of just like we were all so connected in a different way, and I think that was that the third night?
It's Wednesday night.
Wednesday night. So I just I prayed about it a lot before the trip, just that I could experience like God in a new way, and because of how short the trip was, it was really cool to like see how much love I had for those boys, even though I had only known them for 3 days at that point. I think it was 3 days at that point. So I just realized how much more God had, how much more love God had for them, because I had only known them for 3 days, and I was praying for them and hugging them, and I cared for them so deeply, and it just made me realize how much more God cares for them. But it was a really cool experience.
At chapel, I didn't really have the translator with me the whole time, but I had gotten the chance to pray with I think 3 of the boys, and I know they didn't know what I was saying, but I made sure to say their name a lot so they knew that I was talking about them. And I had talked to them the next day, and I was like, I just want you to know, I was really praying for you at chapel, and it was just nice to know that they knew that, because they heard their name a lot, and it was nice to know that that had worked. So
yeah, I think it's cool how close and connected we got, even though there was that language barrier, how we were able to interact with them in different ways and pray for them even in our own language, because I remember it was Addie and this other boy, it was one of the boys from the camp, they were praying for each other, and the boy was praying in Spanish, and then she was praying for him in English, and it was just it was really cool to see that even though there was a language barrier, there was still so much love and connection.
For me, it impacted me spiritually because it just shows everything I have to be grateful for back in the States, because they don't have pretty much anything that we do. They're going meal to meal while we are oh, what are we eating for dinner tonight? Is it lasagna or spaghetti? And they're are we actually eating dinner tonight? And so it just shows that you need to be grateful for what you have and what's God's given you.
Yeah. What impacted me spiritually was, it was amazing to see the boys faith and how strong it was, even while they were in these absurd conditions that we aren't facing. And it's just crazy to see how they have so little, but their faith is so big, and we have all these things here, and it's so easily distracting, and how sometimes it's so easy for us to stumble. But it was really amazing to see how their faith was so strong, even before we started the camp. It was wonderful.
So since the camp is in summer, we don't have school, which school is a big thing in every kid's life here. And during summer, you kind of forget about it. And then when you're in a whole different country, you really forget about it. And it just kind of leaves your mind. Also work and stuff, when you're oh, I've got 2 weeks where I don't have to work, I don't have to do anything but be on this trip, you can just really focus on the trip and the purpose of the trip.
I think obviously some of the distractions are having jobs and school and hanging out with friends here, but even at camp I feel you can get distracted really easily just because of how fast things are going, because you'll go from the morning you're doing soccer drills to playing at the beach and then doing games, and things just go by really fast. And then I felt either nights or at chapel, or just when you have some downtime, I'd kind of think about things and see the impact that things had afterwards, looking back. Yeah. Bless you.
From the top, my bad.
Definitely just camp goes by quick, so I'd kind of sometimes look back and feel I was distracted during some times or could have done things better, but also sometimes see things in the kids or see things that happen that maybe I didn't see like their spiritual impact at the moment.
For me, it shows like during the day, like life is so busy. You just need to take some time and just like sit and like talk to God. You just need to put some time away during your busy day and just talk to Him.
So while we were there, it was really easy to be in the moment because you're constantly having something to do. You're like running water to the teams, or or like again, you're constantly being filled with like all these different things going on, and you're hot and you're tired and you're sweaty and you're hungry, and it's like all these different feelings. So you're pretty much in the moment the whole time throughout the camp. But then I feel like we need to bring that home with us too. Like it's so easy to be like anxious about the future or like what happened in the past, and I feel like we just need to live that out more here and just like embrace each moment that we're in and just enjoy the people that we're with, people that we have around us in the moment. And I think that's just something that's really important that we need to start doing here too. So
I think it's really important to like make an effort to be a light, like in school and out in public. Not necessarily like, I think a lot of people are afraid to share their faith because it's so, people are like so against, not everybody, but a lot of people are very against Christianity or the idea of loving Jesus. So I know that I've had people even at school like come up to me and be like, wow, like you're so joyful all the time, like why is that? And I think just recognizing opportunities to be more bold in your faith and like be like, yeah, it's because of Jesus, or like inviting people to youth group or to church. Like it doesn't have to be this big like preaching thing, but just taking those opportunities to be a reflection of Jesus, I think is important.
So one thing I noticed was it was so easy to talk about God there, and like so easy to just praise the Lord wherever you were, and like preach to these boys and like talk with them about God. But once we got back home, like it was kind of like almost a reality check where it was like, why it was like hard for me to talk to my friends and like my family about God, and like I was almost like nervous that they were going to judge me for it. But it doesn't have to be like that. It doesn't have to be nerve-wracking or scary to talk about God. Like, just because we're back home and we speak the same language doesn't mean that we can't praise the Lord any different. So I think Anna has a really good point that we need to be bold in our faith and be confident in, like, He is our loving Father, and we need to share that.
If I'm gonna be real, my worldview did not change that much because it's always said a lot that we live in such a nice place and we live in a very comfy, cozy area in America. But when you go down there and like you've already heard about all the things and seeing it, it's a whole different thing. It's very more opening, seeing how people live. Like driving into the city. I mean, it was like, I don't want to say cool, but it was like crazy to see all the like how cramped that they can make houses and how like tight people can live in life. And then when you come back to America, you see that all of our houses is for 4 people. They're spread out. You each have your backyard. There you had 3 houses stacked on top of each other. They had a roof in common and they would be hanging clothes on top. So it was kind of eye-opening, but it was the same thing we've been told all of our lives, in that we live in such a nice place and that we need to be grateful for our things. And I feel like a lot more people kind of realize what it's actually like living down in a different area and not being in such a nice place.
So my worldview was definitely changed the first year that I went. My team last year for the girls' camp, their biggest issue that they struggled with was malnourishment, and so going along with that, they obviously didn't have these big extravagant houses. So like they had dirt floors and like sheet metal for walls and a roof, and like that was crazy because like we complain if our air conditioning's 2 degrees warmer than what we would like, and they probably haven't even known like what an air conditioner even is. Like it is crazy to just know like we are very privileged here, and just getting the chance to go and help people that don't have that same opportunity that we do it warms your heart. It really does. It's amazing to have this opportunity.
My personal favorite part about camp had got to be the baptisms. I liked, especially on my team, I loved seeing 5 of my kids got baptized, and it was really nice to see them kind of profess their faith to all their friends.
Hey, brother, I got baptized.
Oh, how about you share on that?
Ah, yeah, for sure. I got baptized by the wonderful man named Chris Pierce, who's, who I actually learned, me and Chris Pierce are very similar people on this trip, Me and Chris are basically the same person, except for he's like 30 years older than me.
Wow, it's similar.
Yeah.
I know he's really outgoing.
No. There is a lot of stuff similar with us. I can't disclose here.
Okay.
But there is a lot of stuff that me and him have in common. But it was a really. I had wanted to get baptized like a year ago, but I kind of thought to myself at that point in time, am I really committed to my faith? Am I really doing the stuff outside of church besides going to youth group and going to church? And I was like, no. So then, fast forward 9 months. There was another opportunity for me to get baptized at that one retreat. And I thought to myself again, am I really doing the stuff outside? Am I really committed to my faith? No. So then, after that point, I really wanted to devote myself to the Lord. I really wanted to, go in, really continue with my faith. So I was doing a lot more stuff outside of church, and I was praying a lot more outside of church. I was reading the Bible outside of church, and it was a real, shock to me once I got to the camp. I just felt like it's the moment. It's the time, that I've been thinking about for a while now. So I was like, hey, here it is, I feel like I'm very committed to right now I'm very committed to my faith, and I think that I will forever be committed to my faith until I die. So, yeah.
That's awesome, Colin.
Nice.
I kind of already said this, but I really like the chapels, and the altar call was probably my favorite. But just being able to worship with the boys and giving them hugs and praying for them was really cool, because I think it brought all of the volunteers and the boys closer together, because we were able to just be vulnerable with each other. Sharing testimonies was also one of my favorites, because I felt like my testimony could speak to some of the boys. And it was really eye-opening to see what they had been through. But I think after they shared their testimonies, they felt like they could be more open with us. But yeah.
So my favorite part of the whole camp, it's hard to choose just a couple, but I really enjoyed meeting the boys and seeing them move from teammates to friends to then family at the end of the week. I loved seeing them bond together, because I know that is a lasting relationship. Unfortunately, our role there was only temporary, but I know that their relationships with their mentors and with their teammates, but more importantly with God, is going to be with them forever. So that was really cool to see. And then at the end of the week, one of the boys on my team got baptized, and that was really amazing to witness. And then I also got to baptize my mom. So that was wonderful. I loved that so much. It was wonderful to see her take that step of faith.
My favorite part was not getting baptized. That was actually my second favorite part. My favorite part was that I opened up for the first time in a long time. So I shared a story that I hadn't shared with anyone for 5 years. I shared with Miss Frenchie, and it's the first time that I shared that, and then I shared it with my boys, which was really nice. But yeah, that was my favorite part.
My favorite part was definitely one night chapel. It was Wednesday night, and after playing 2 or 3 soccer games, doing drills. You'd think everybody's tired, but that night we had a mosh pit in the front, and it was genuinely like the coolest thing I've ever experienced, because it was just a bunch of kids and dudes just praising with the most energy I've ever like witnessed, and it was great. It was just super positive. They were chanting like, "Hey Zeus, hey Zeus," and it was just like, it was awesome. It was surreal. It was a surreal moment.
Yeah, I definitely loved Wednesday night worship, but they also did altar calls and kind of let the boys say that they would like accept Jesus, and I just thought it was really cool. Our team, the first couple days, like they told us like they were really good at soccer. They thought they were gonna like win, and then they weren't doing like that well the first couple days, and it kind of sounds like something out of like a movie. But after Wednesday night, when they kind of all were together and accepted Jesus together, something just kind of clicked, and the next day, like they were all like working as a team. They were playing better, and like we were winning all our games. So I thought that was just really cool to see.
And you ended up winning the whole tournament.
And we ended up winning the whole tournament after that.
What country were you?
Argentina. I definitely think I'd love to. Like, I've gone the last 3 years now on a missions trip during the summer, and they've all been like great. Like, kind of every year, it's kind of like it refreshes my faith kind of, and it builds it stronger. So I definitely think I'd love to keep doing that as much as I can and keep building my faith like that.
Usually a really eye-opening experience, and you never know if like that's the job for you, and maybe after you come back from the trip you'll be like, oh, I really want to like go into ministry and like be a missionary or something like that. So you never know until you try it. You might as well try it.
Yeah, I mean, trips like this are an experience that you will not get going to church every Sunday morning. Take it from me, I go to church every Sunday morning, and it doesn't even compare in the slightest to what you get on these trips.
I would encourage other people to go on short-term trips, just because you know your faith that you have with the Lord, and you know that relationship, and I feel like it's such a fulfilling relationship that you can't get anywhere else. So why wouldn't you want to share that with others? That's such like a wonderful bond that I wish for everyone, and I hope everyone can find that. I do. My heart is open to long-term missions if that's what God has in store for me. I'm currently looking into a couple different missionaries, like on how to get into missionary and whatnot. That is something that I'm potentially interested in, so I'll be praying about it. If you guys wouldn't mind praying for me, that would be amazing. But yeah, I am open to it.
I definitely am going to go on more mission trips in the future, but I don't know exactly like what that means or what that's going to look like. I'll be praying about it, but I definitely think it's an awesome opportunity, especially when you're going outside of the country, because you get to see just God in a new way, in a new culture. Yeah, so I would recommend. 10 out of 10 would do again.
Like and subscribe, hit that follow button, turn on notifications.
Life to the full on YouTube.
Yeah. Come to Encounter Church.
Go to church.
Come to youth group. It's a great time.
Talk Jesus.
You should guys come to cross country meets.
Or middle school.
Yeah, I guess.